What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while. Well, simply because my son is playing baseball all-stars, and well, every waking minute that I've had off work, it's been all-stars. But I'm driving home from a little grill out, and I just had to drive through. Maybe that light won't bother people. This part of the town I grew up in, and this one road, and I'm sure a lot of y'all got this one road in your life that has really, man, the memories just flurried through my head driving on this road. And it's called the Fawful Bottoms, and nobody probably will know what this is, but talking like, you know, the thing that made Chucky, etc. And I'm gonna kind of pan toward this one little, and I'm gonna tell the story. So hold on. So you can kind of see, which now has got stakes and stuff that goes off into there. Where it goes, I think now it could be a field. I don't know. It could be a field. I don't know. I've not been on that road since this day when I was 16 years old. And so, imagine me coming from the other way for a minute, and I come around this curve right here, probably doing, in my head, I'm thinking I'm doing 80, 90 miles an hour, which I know I wasn't, because I was in a lowered 1989 Ford Ranger. But I remember touching the grass in that Ford Ranger, drifting, banging that joker off second, third gear. Oh, we got an old guy just driving around. But I remember driving through here, outrunning that in particular police officer, coming across here, and how you doing? Just coming across through here, outrunning the law, from TP in the yard, rolling yard, toilet paper and trees. But it was this road that outran that officer. And there's something about driving down these old country roads that just make you reminisce about the good old days. Yet again, I've not been down this road, golly, y'all. I was 16 years old when I outran the law that night. Oh, washed out. And it's just farmland. I mean, that's just all that's around. It's just farmland. But it's just, man, it is so much reminiscing on what went on back then. So I'm driving through here, and I'm just, the memories of just the craziness that went on this road. This is where I learned how to drive, as far as doing crazy stuff, drifting, oh man, driving fast. My first fight out of high school, like, meet somewhere, let's go fight at the Fawful Bottoms, we'll settle this. Who knows what it was about? I don't remember the guy's name, but what's that? It's not relevant. But the story goes, is, you know, that little series I've been doing of the making of Chucky. Went to roll a yard one night. There was a girl that went to our church. We went to roll the yard, and I had a 1990 model Ford Ranger. Had the 2.3 4-banger in it, 5-speed. And I parked where I could get away, because this was not my first time rolling yards. And so I parked so I could get away. And man, I did donuts in that field. It's just a lot of memories. Anyway, I remember vividly throwing a roll of toilet paper over this person's house, and I hear a shotgun go off. So I take off running, like any 16-year-old would. Heck, I would now at 34. So I take off running, and I get to my truck, and about that time, blue lights show up, the police. Like they should. There's guns firing, 20-something kids throwing toilet paper over people's trees and house. Anyway, of course, I'm the only one that takes off in the truck. Of course, my natural mindset. But I remember going down this road, and that little road that I pulled y'all onto, I outran them to that curve, and my little Ranger was black. It was lowered. It was about 3 inches to the ground. It was lowered. This is when Fast and the Furious first came out, where everybody lowered everything they had a fart can on everything they had. I did have a fart can on it, but it was straight piped. Anyway, I remember ducking off in them woods with that little lowered Ford Ranger with a 2.3 four-banker 5-speed and burying that thing in the mud. Burying it to get it back. I turned the lights off, and I remember waiting to 2 minutes later. All I see is I think it was 3 cop cars blew by. So I'll sit there and wait for several hours before I call one of my buddies to come pull me out. Because they came back through several times looking for me. You couldn't see it. It wasn't as good as an opening as it is now. But back then, everybody that mud rode knew about it, because it ended up, I think, turning into going into the creek, and everybody used to try to cross the creek. Nobody ever did. I don't remember. There's been a lot of cold drinks since then. But I remember just bailing through there. But I remember that officer, the one in the previous video, he pulled me over the next day after school for nothing. Blue lights came on, I pulled over. The truck still covered in mud. Lowered Ford Ranger. And he's like, Nathan, what was you doing last night? I was like, oh, I don't know, officer. Because I know what you're doing. I'll catch you next time. I was like, but you haven't caught me the first 2 times. Cocky, arrogant me. Drag racing, and then that. And he's like, no, I'm going to catch you the next time. I was like, oh, are you? He goes, oh, without a doubt. He goes, you may have got away from me 2 times. You want to get away from me the 3rd. I was like, okay. Challenge accepted. And you all stay tuned for the next video. But, man, we're going down memory lane. How much fun that road. I taught my wife, girlfriend at the time, how to drive 5-speed down that road. I taught my little brother, who's now 30, how to drive a straight shift down that road. And it's just memory lane. How awesome memory lane is. Sorry I haven't posted any videos here lately, but it's super, super busy. My son's an all-star baseball, and it's just been every moment I've been off work, I've been doing stuff with him. And so YouTube had to take a step back in the backseat, and I think any dad would understand. So YouTube's not been my priority. It's been getting my son ready for All-Stars, and this is his last weekend. It's the very big tournament. It's the state tournament. Super proud of him. He came to me last year at the end of the baseball year. A bunch of his buddies made the All-Star team, and he's like, Dad, why did I make All-Stars? And I'm brutally honest with my son, and I don't sugarcoat it. And I said, son, you sucked. You wasn't good enough. You didn't practice hard enough. You only practiced when it was a requirement throughout the week. And he goes, well, I'm going to fix that next year. I was like, okay, that sounds good. the next day when I came home from work. He says, "Dad, it's imperative that we practice every day." I said, "Well, all right." And we did. And it was all because of him. 100%. And he wanted to be an all-star. And he earned that right, and I thought it was only the right thing by me. Like any father, any dad, is that he wanted to make sure he was going to do a good job. And I was going to give him every ounce of ability that I could to make sure he did a good job. And he has done fantastic. And I'm super proud of him. So, yeah, YouTube can take a back seat when it comes to my family, my son, my wife. And he wanted to make it, and he did. And he's doing a dang good job at it. So, I've had several text messages, private messages, like, "Man, where you at? Everything okay?" I'm golden, I promise you. My son has worked hard and earned what he's gotten this year, which so far is 3 rings. If anybody knows anything about baseball, he's gotten 3 rings this year. Couldn't be more proud. It's the proudest dad moment I've had so far, and he's 7. And super proud of him. But that's where I've been. But I was driving on this road, and I'm like, you know what? I'll make a small YouTube video on it. But that's it, guys, and it won't be much longer. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been about a month since I stepped foot in my shop. The Crown Vic's in there, I know it is, but I've not looked at it. I haven't. I've been being a dad, baseball glove and a baseball and a bat. That's what I've done. So, but I drove down that road and I had to make a video on it. But that's it. If you haven't liked, subscribed already, please do. If not, then whatever. I'm going to watch my son play in the baseball Alabama State tournament this weekend. And today is Wednesday. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Have a good day. God bless. Like, subscribe, comment. You know all the jazz that I always say. And if you don't, then whatever. Have a good one.